Horror is a genre built on its villains, so how does a franchise thrive without a face to fear? There are no mass killers to be found here, no monsters, no ghosts or demons, just death itself, with a plan. So let's explore why Final Destination, a series built on the same premise 6 times over, continues to survive, within slashers, found footage and supernatural horror rise and fall. After years of post-Scream teen horror during the late 90s, Final Destination flipped the formula at the turn of the century. It removed the slasher and took an invisible force, death itself, and made it terrifyingly systematic. The genius of its antagonist? You can't fight it, you can't kill it, you just have to outrun fate, temporarily. What makes it hold up is that the central hook is clean, simple, and endlessly adaptable. One survivor has a premonition, cheats death, then death reclaims them, one by one. This concept was no cheap imitation. It offered us something new and timeless. And although every sequel is a remix of the same structure, its foundations tap into one of the oldest human fears, the illusion of control.
Get away from me!
Each death is a puzzle, a tension machine teasing its deadly punchline. These films consistently create a domino effect of dread, where you aren't just waiting for the kill, you're scanning each location and shot like a detective, trying to predict how a character meets their fate before it happens. The series does a better job of putting us into a character's mindset than maybe any other horror franchise out there, by virtue of how it's devised. It's the Hitchcock bomb under the table principle, suspense over surprise, only every object's a bomb. This mechanic of death by design hasn't aged because it hasn't been copied well. Nobody builds dread like Final Destination. It rewards viewers who watch closely and punishes characters who don't. When each death lands, it feels earned. It's horror in perhaps its most effective form on the big screen, cinematic anxiety. Death in Final Destination is ordinary. You die brushing your teeth, getting a massage, driving to work. These films don't hide behind the supernatural, they hide in the mundane. They turn everyday spaces into horror sets, and daily rituals into death traps. That's what makes them terrifying. Not because they're outlandish, but because they're possible. You don't need a haunted house, a deathly puzzle box, or a killer doll. You just need a puddle, a wire, a flicker of bad timing. These films don't punish morality. They don't follow horror's usual rules. You don't die because you had sex, or sinned, or summoned something. You die because the world is unpredictable, because death doesn't discriminate. They linger because they infect real life. Every time you get on a roller coaster, walk through a kitchen, or merge on the motorway, a flicker of Final Destination flashes in your head. That's not just horror, that's modern folklore. It's not a ghost story passed down, it's a survival instinct. For many millennials and Gen Z horror fans, Final Destination was a gateway drug, their first brush with modern terror. It wasn't just a movie, it was a rite of passage. You watched it at sleepovers or in secret, and spent the next week avoiding tanning beds, elevators and the gym. It didn't lean on whodunits or wink at the camera meta humour. It left something behind. Not a killer, but a concept. Designed to decipher. Maybe without knowing it, the franchise predicted something else. That creeping, scrolling sense of anxiety in the TikTok age, where random, everyday moments feel like death traps. Final Destination didn't just scare us, it trained us to see patterns where none exist, and made paranoia feel like preparation. These films are engineered with intent. Every kill is a sequence, and every sequence is a system. It's not just about suspense, It's about structure. That's what sets the franchise apart. Final Destination can wipe the slate clean every time. And because the formula is the fear, it's endlessly remixable. Planes, highways, roller coasters, lasers, you can drop this template anywhere and it works. That's why Final Destination Bloodlines didn't need reinvention, just execution. The sixth film delivered what audiences expect. Inventive kills, a rising sense of dread, and a chilling reminder, you cheat death, it will cheat back. But what I want to know is, what do you make of this franchise? What's your favourite Final Destination death? Have you seen Final Destination Bloodlines? And if so, what did you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Final Destination 2 has always been my personal favourite. I love how it brings together a group of strangers who are grounded and who evolve as the story unfolds. It raises the stakes from the original, sets the tonal blueprint for the rest of the series, and delivers the concept of the death ripple effect that future installments fully lean into. But until next time, keep your eyes on the background. You never know what's coming.
Good luck.